say that in the nicest possible way. I'm not taking
If you're the world champion, you can dress how you want. No question about that. Back-to-back Bagnaia, as he's now being known as. And there was a nice little touch as well, just below the sort of collar line of that blazer. Well, it had the MotoGP Champions Tower emblazoned on it as well. He certainly knew how to celebrate in style. He
had to leave the prize giving ceremony early because he was calling the bingo on Sunday night. Now then, it's official. The dream has come true. This was a picture taken when Luca Marini was dreaming of being a MotoGP rider when he was starting his journey. So here we go then. We've got engines firing up in the background, as I'm sure you can hear, and Luca Marini suited and booted. On goes the helmet. This will be a bit of a shock, won't it? Jumping off the Ducati onto the Honda. I think Luca is going to make the 2023 Honda look like a mini motorbike because he's the tallest rider in MotoGP by some distance, and the Honda's quite a small motorcycle. It's a very compact motorcycle. So how they're going to react to the sort of lanky Luca stepping on board that RC213V. But thankfully, the pit lane has been open for 20 minutes. We've heard from Aleix Espargaro, and now we're going to get action out on circuit. 2024 will begin in earnest. What a season it promises to be, with the arrival of potentially the once-in-a-generation talent Pedro Acosta, and with Marc Marquez joining the 8-strong Ducati stable. Special moment then for Luca Marini, as for the very first time he throws his leg over a factory motorcycle in MotoGP. Out he heads on circuit here, the 4-kilometre Ricardo Tormo circuit. I'll wait till he does actually leave pit lane. Green light has been on for 21 minutes or so here, just weaving from left. And as the first ride then to leave pit lane here in Valencia, we can officially say MotoGP 2024 starts now.
And a new journey starts for Luca Marini, and you suspect that Ducati will be leaning, or Honda will be leaning very heavily on the Ducati experience that Luca Marini will bring with him. Of course, 2 new riders within the Honda stable of 4 riders for next season, with Joan Mir staying at Repsol Honda, Taka Nakagami staying where he is at LCR Honda. As far as the second half of the Repsol Honda team are concerned, they bring in Luca Marini, and of course LCR Honda welcome Johann Zarco, both looking to bring some Ducati expertise. And to get an idea on the Honda that Luca Marini is on top of there and what he's running, let's head down for the first time to Simon Crowfar. Good morning to you.
Good morning all. A very chilly morning. It's like straight up they're going to have soft tyres on because it's too cold for anything hard. Luca, much to my surprise, is on the completely news from Jerez test. I hadn't seen it before. Everything's quite different on it, like chassis, swing arm that I've never seen. It all looks like HRC, not Kalex. The aero's different, as you'll be able to see on there if you look close. The side wings are different. So the engine, when it was warming up, is not a different firing order. I was listening for that because I was kind of hoping for their sake they're trying something new. But yeah, really surprised, because normally they let the riders head off on something that they've got as a base and then move on to the newer one. But I suppose they don't want to disappoint Luca too much, get him straight on the new one.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. Yeah, radical updates that we saw for the first time at the Misano test, didn't we, in September? And this is a bike that Jack Gorst, our colleague, I think Lewis, he said, is heavily based on that model, as Luca Marini will just be a little bit tentative here in these chilly, breezy conditions in Valencia, just to make sure before he starts pushing close to the limit. Of course, he won't be going out and taking big risks here, but just making sure that he's building up some temperature in those tyres. This was a motorcycle which Marc Marquez ran at that Misano test, and it wasn't good enough to convince the 30-year-old Spaniard to remain for a 12th season with HRC. Honda just don't have the time, or Marc Marquez doesn't have the time, does he, to wait around for Honda to find their mojo again in the MotoGP World Championship. So Luca Marini then out on circuit. We await the arrivals of Pedro Acosta, Marc Marquez and co. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast as well, several new riders switching teams for 2024. Johan Zarco making the same switch that Marini has made from Ducati yesterday, but fair to say the celebrations got a little bit messy on Sunday night, as you'd expect they would do after a stressful season. You know, it's one thing to win a MotoGP World Championship. In many respects, it's harder and tougher to retain it, which Bagnaia did. So there was a hell of a party on Sunday night for the factory Ducati team, and basically lost his voice yesterday. A bit of screaming, a bit of shouting, but I did see him, fair play. 9 o'clock this morning, he was walking over to our truck to do the World Champions interview, and now he is ready to start the defence of his title, bidding to become just the 10th rider in Premier Class history to win 3 World Championships on her own. What a special year for MotoGP.
Which is the bike we'll see Marc Marquez on a little bit later on this morning, was quite different to the bike that Bagnaia won the 2022 World Championship on. Of course, Enea Bastianini had quite the challenge adapting from the 21 Ducati that he jumped off to the 23, and of course the injuries he had in the first half of the season certainly didn't help him in trying to make that acclimatization. It was very clear that that was a motorcycle that Pecco Bagnaia had a big say in terms of it being designed around him, suiting Bagnaia's style and his famed strengths of heavy braking. Aleix Espargaro said in pre-season testing at Sepang that he was riding behind that Ducati and he could not believe.
Helmet, what does lie in store? It's going to be fascinating to see, isn't it, how Marc Marquez, or how quickly he can gel with the GP23. Of course, he will be riding as part of the Gresini Ducati independent team operation, this year's title-winning machine, Ducati keeping. And from that point onwards, it was a real proper scrap, a real proper duel, wasn't it? Because Barcelona really coincided with Jorge Martin's purple patch. It's where Jorge Martin really did click into top gear. And for Bagnaia to bounce back from the title showed what a top world champion he is.
And I think the experience from having already won the World Championship in dramatic fashion from 91 points behind in 2022 certainly helped Pecco Bagnaia. It was so impressive how calm he stayed when the championship got tense last year. We'll have a keen eye on the KTMs here this morning. KTM usually busier than most in pre-season testing. To get an idea of what we can expect from them today, let's head to Jack Appleyard in pit lane news with Francesco Guidotti.
Yeah, down here with Francesco. Firstly, to talk about what we saw on Sunday, then let's touch on the test. It was a massive opportunity on Sunday. How do you reflect on it now?
Yeah, it's still hurting. It's still